And welcome back once again. It is Medical Monday with the experts at East Cooper Medical Center. Today we're talking about traumatic brain injury, or TBI, with the speech language pathologist Kelly Moose. And welcome to the show. First, let's talk about what exactly is TBI and sort of the defined definition of it, if you would.
Excellent. Well, TBI, or traumatic brain injury, is an event in which sudden trauma causes damage to the brain. Now, the extent of the effects from the TBI can be mild to severe, depending on the extent of the brain injury. So no two brain injuries look the same. Just like we're all different, you know, a brain kind of makes us who we are. No two brain injuries present the same. 1.7 million Americans have a TBI each year, and 5.3 million Americans are currently living with disabilities from a TBI.
And those disabilities can vary from small disabilities to complete disabilities of lack of hand and arm motion, speech, and that's where you come into play as well. Now, TBI, you know, a lot of people, you know, that are watching right now, they can relate TBI to maybe ABC News' Bob Woodruff, who had a tremendous TBI over in Iraq during that particular episode. He's doing fine now, but it was just a huge amount of trauma done to the left side of his head. But there can be trauma even when the child that is riding a bike or riding a skateboard can fall off and hit themselves head on the curb.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why, you know, we just need to take precautions in those situations, riding a bike with children or young adults, ensuring that you're wearing a helmet or any kind, you know, protective head wear when doing any kind of activity that could cause that, like riding a bike, a skateboard, skiing, sports, you know, high impact sports, things like that, like football.
So those are some of the risk factors, and that's one of the reasons why, you know, they've got helmets that the moms and dads can buy now to help stay away from that in case they do fall, because kids are going to fall off a skateboard, little electric scooters, bicycles. I remember just a few years ago, very unfortunate that we had a young lady here in Mount Pleasant that was down in the Bahamas on a golf cart and fell off a golf cart. I mean, how many of us ride around in a golf cart and bumped her head on the curb?
Or wear helmets and
passed away from that. I mean, just such a tremendous. Tell us about what exactly do you do as a speech pathologist with people with TBI?
So I work with individuals that might have communication deficits following a TBI, so difficulty understanding language or difficulty expressing themselves. Also difficulty with actual speech production, like they may have weakness where they can't actually produce the speech, so they might not be able to be understood as well as they used to be. They may have difficulty with cognition, like attention, problem solving, short-term memory deficits, and something we call executive function, which is something we use every day as individuals, planning, goal setting, you know, self-monitoring. That's often an effect from a TBI.
And if you know someone that may have had a little bit of a bump on the head or whatever, and some of the signs that they need to look for, or their parent or their partner needs to look for, what would that be?
Well, let me begin by saying that the initial signs following a TBI don't necessarily happen immediately. They can be hours to days later, so you definitely want to have someone with the individual that has had this event to keep an eye on them, because the symptoms might not be present initially. So headaches, dizziness, nausea and vomiting, seizures, things like that are some signs to look for.
We've got about 30 seconds left.
Excellent.
Tell us about some of the treatments that are available to folks that have different levels of TBI.
So some individuals really benefit from therapy, which would be physical therapy, which would be addressing mobility, if they have decreased strength, coordination, things like that. Occupational therapist would work with the individual on daily activities, like they might have difficulty dressing or bathing, things that we take for granted every day that these individuals have difficulty with. And then again with speech, working on, you know, finding ways with that, you know, cognition I'm going to hit on again. That is one of the most common signs and symptoms following a TBI, and we work with working with the caregivers as well to improve their quality of life. Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you being here today to talk about this. Give the folks a call there if you know of anyone, or maybe you're suffering a little bit, from that 843-416 6640. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you so much.
We've got more coming up in just a moment. And the newest cast members coming in from Southern Charm. You're going to meet those folks in just a moment.
Very good.
Thank you. That was okay.